Welcome everyone to the April meeting of the acquisition SIG for koha-US. I wanted to do a couple of housekeeping things right up front. First of all, just wanted to promote the koha-US conference that will be taking place in August. We have, we have the schedule almost finalized. It should go up fairly in the next, I don't know, few weeks, I guess. I know a lot of, I know for our city, they need to see the program before they'll approve the travel. So that's ready to go. But I just encourage everyone to participate. If you can get to the conference itself, that would be great. We'll have some, time to just sit and talk. We can do some acquisition SIG stuff in person, which would be wonderful. And then we have some, it's going to be in Round Rock this year. So you can come visit us, see our spiffy new library. And we've got some fun activities in the evening planned for, people to just sit and mix and talk with each other. And so we'd love to see you there. It's a great way to make connections and find people that are doing a similar job as yours and bounce ideas off them. And then when you go back home, you've got somebody that you can email and ask questions to and continue the conversation then, because Koha is all about community and we want to encourage that. What I'd like to do, so any questions about the conference? Anybody that's never been that has questions? Okay, I'll take that as no. Then the next thing I want to do, I see some new names here. And so I want to, again, promote community. So if we could go around and just introduce ourselves, just give your name, the library that you work at, and the maybe how long you've been on Koha, or your favorite thing about Koha, or anything interesting that you want to add to that. So probably the easiest thing to do for this is, yeah, I think last time it was like I introduced it and then I picked somebody and then the next person can pick somebody and we'll just go from there. So I'll start. My name is Rhonda Kuiper. I work at the Round Rock Public Library. We've been on Koha since 2016 and April of 2016. So our anniversary was just, I think it was April 4. So just a few weeks, less than a couple weeks ago. Yeah, the Koha conference will be here in Round Rock this year. So come visit us. All right, I will go with Patty.
Good morning. My name is Patty Velez. I work at the Ramapo Catskill Library System. We're a consortium of 47 libraries. I'm an acquisitions and technical specialist. And we're not going live till August 5th.
Okay.
So I'm here to learn what I can learn before then.
Okay, great. All right.
Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex Carver, also from the Ramapo Catskill Library System. I'm the software and ILS administrator, and I work with Patty, and we go live August 5th.
Okay.
All right. How about Chanel?
Hi, I'm Chanel, the systems librarian for the Yavapai Library Network, and we go live June 17th. I'll pass it to Jason.
I'm Jason Rupp. I'm the Seek and Find coordinator for the Southeast Kansas Library System. Seek and Find has been on Koha since 2008. I'll go with Barbara.
I'm Barbara Johnson. I'm library manager at Bedford Public Library in Bedford, Texas, and we've been on Koha since October 2016. Marci.
Hello, my name is Marci Chen, and I'm with the McKinney Public Library in Texas. And we have also been on Koha since October 2016. And I will go with Holly.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Holly. I'm at Round Rock Public Library with Rhonda. I am not ready for my close-up, so I'm off camera today. But whatever Rhonda said, ditto. Oh shoot, I have to call on somebody. Gretchen? Has Gretchen gone yet? No, Gretchen.
Oh, you coming over here?
Mhm.
All right, you're on.
Okay.
Hi, sorry, I'm without a microphone. I work with Patty at RCLS and Alex.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
Oh,
Chip.
someone else?
Chip.
Who hasn't gone? Chip?
I don't think Chip is gone.
Oh, oops. Hello. I'm Chip Halverson with Westlake Porter Public Library near Cleveland, Ohio, and we went live December 4th. And now we're moving towards EDI. So I'm very interested in acquisitions.
Okay,
Thanks.
great. Let's see, we got a few left here. Who do you want to call, Chip?
Oh, I'm sorry. How about Vescobar? Have they gone yet?
No.
Hi, good morning. My name is Victoria Escobar, and I am in Altadena, California, and we have been with Koha since 2018.
Okay.
And it's been with mrogers. When's mrogers gone?
Okay. Are you? We?
How about Daphne then?
Okay. Daphne?
Sorry, I just need to unmute myself. I am Daphne Houlihan. I work with Interleaf Technology in Ireland, and we support the Koha libraries in Ireland. So I come to this group to find out all the exciting things that are coming, because you're generally a release ahead of us. And I'm picking up all the tips, hopefully. It's me, thank you.
Yep.
Oh, now I can't remember who is next. So would people like to volunteer, because we're appearing differently on the screen? We're sort of hopping all around the place.
I think Gretchen and Christie, I think, are the ones that are left.
So if
Right,
Gretchen would like
went
to
over.
speak up.
Gretchen already went.
Oh, Gretchen.
Oh,
Okay.
Christie,
So
please.
Hi, everyone. This is Christie. I'm from Monterey Public Library in California. I started in acquisitions in 2019, and our library had transitioned to Koha at that time. I think we used Innovative prior to that. What I like about Koha is that it's open source, and I love working with other people and brainstorming and getting new ideas and making them happen. So glad to be here.
Okay, thanks, Christie. And I think I saw, where did my chat thing go? Okay, M. Rogers' microphone isn't connected. That's why we couldn't hear. Okay, so we have consortiums, we have single libraries, we've got people that have been on for a while, people that aren't even on Koha yet. So we've got a very good variety. So, and not sure, Chris, can you hear? I'm still connecting to audio. All right. We'll just keep going. Okay, so first off, I want to ask if anybody has anything that they have run across in the last month that you want to talk about, or you know, get some ideas, brainstorm, workflow suggestions, something that you came up with that you think, oh, everybody should know about this.
This is Marcy. I have a question.
Okay.
It's not specifically acquisitions related, but the Texas libraries can feel my pain. So we're going through a migration of our interlibrary loan system. And I wanted to know, is there anyone out there on this group that is using NSIP with their interlibrary loan and Koha? And I'm interested in reaching out, maybe not this morning during the acquisition SIG, but if anyone is using it, and especially if they use autographics, I have questions. Rhonda, are y'all going to use NSIP?
We're going to try. And
Okay.
that hasn't been successful yet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you use it with NRE?
I think we use SIP for NRE.
Okay.
But yeah, there's tickets flying back and forth.
Yeah. Okay.
So in the last ticket I saw, it sounded like we were close.
Okay.
So fingers crossed. But yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
One thing I did want to mention, last month at our meeting, we kind of worked through an enhancement to non-EDI receiving. Right now you can receive multiple items at the same time, but there's still a lot of clicks involved. And we kind of worked through what ideally we would like to see. I did create a bug for that. It is 36364. So that's not too hard to remember. And the title is Enhancement to Non-EDI Receiving. So if you were here last month and would like to weigh in on this, we've got, I think it was Victoria and Barbara both weighed in on it, giving some, I just put out there what I thought the group was saying. So if you have clarifications or anything like that, we did get feedback from Katrine, who is one of the developers. I don't know if Daphne, if you got a better definition. She's been like release manager and different things. And she said, I feel like what you suggest is what I've been thinking of with the multi-receive idea initially. And so it sounds like she's in our court at least. So if you want to add additional comments or even just vote for this particular bug enhancement, that would be a great way to get this moving. We want to see if we can make the receiving of non-EDI items, even though our library is an EDI library. That's just for 3 of our vendors because, obviously Amazon, if we get, try and do a fill in or something like that from Amazon is not EDI. Other vendors are not, we get stuff from Bound to Stay Bound, that's not EDI, so we are doing some non-EDI receiving as well. So it'd be great to make that a quicker, smoother process than it is right now. So, yeah, definitely look that over, and then put any comments. I think we had 3 different options for editing. As I was writing it up, I sort of talked myself out of one of them because I was like, there's really no value add here. And so, if you have a choice, a preference between A or B, add that to the comments, and that would be a great way to do this. And then, one of the things we can do is there's usually a developer from Bywater at the conference. We can sit down and just have a chat with them, about what they think this would involve, and get some more information on that too. Any other bugs that people have opened or are watching, would like to get some more support behind, anything like that? I noticed I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 bugs that I've opened, of which 8 of them are still in new status. So I've got to work on that. But
Has anyone been following the replacement cost bug? I think I was sent bug 36053, and I heard it was going to be released on the next upgrade. Does anyone know anything further about it?
it does say that it was pushed to 2405.
So is that our next big upgrade, or when is that? Do you know?
Let's see. No, the next one, for if you're a Bywater customer, the next one will be 2311.
Oh, okay. So we'll be waiting a while longer then.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, because we're on 2305, so the next one will be 2311, and then it'll be 2405.
If it's something that you're wanting sooner, you can always add a comment that says, "Well," or just asking, "Will this be backported?"
Yeah.
Because if it's a bug, often they'll backport it to earlier versions.
Mm-hmm.
So I put that message, Jason, on the bug itself.
Yep.
Yeah, just add the
Oh.
comment, ask if it'll be backported to whatever version you're on.
Okay.
And whoever is in charge of that version will be able to say, yes, we can backport it, or no, it's too complicated and you'll have to wait.
Okay. It's funny because it worked perfectly before, as my fellow acquisitions team members can attest to. And then all of a sudden this last upgrade, it stopped working. So, okay. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a good piece of information to have, is if you see something is going to be on a release that's going to take us, a year to get to, asking for it to be backported. If it's like Jason said, if it's a bug, they will consider it. Doesn't
Yeah, and
always
I'm
mean
seeing
we get it.
the comments say this is major and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So definitely including that in your comment as well. Like, say that this is really disrupting things and you would appreciate a backport that might put some weight on it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So there is nothing else. I have my little pet thing that I want to talk about. So the Monday minutes 2 weeks ago, something like that, with Lucas, where they talked about the reports and the notices, talking to each other. I had something that I've always kind of wondered, would like to get Koha to do. But what I really want to find out is this just something that I'm interested in, or is there a broader interest? And I'm thinking that consortiums might be interested in this as well. So when we were planning for our new library, I went around and visited other libraries. And then, of course, not just me, but the other staff too. But I would, if I was in some town, I would just go to the library and check it out just to see if there was ideas for us to borrow. And I would always check out the tech services area as well. And so we were in Vegas, and I went to the library branch. I found out which one had their technical services hub there. And one thing that they had was when they received items, they were able to print out a little slip that would have all kinds of pertinent information on it. Like, was there a hold on it? What if it's a pre-release item? What's the actual release date? How many copies did we receive, and which branches were they assigned to? Where should they be shipped? What's the barcode on this one? What's the just all kinds of different, let me see if I can pull. There it is. Pull it up. I actually took pictures of some of the examples that I saw. So let me, this is big. Okay. I'm going to share my screen and just show you this, and then you can think about, share screen. Let's forget to push that last share. Okay, so can you see this kind of weird looking bright orange slime thing going on here? So this is one example of one system. So they would have, the title, the price, the author, the ISBN, stuff like that. Then they would have, these are all their branches. Another vendor had these acquisition work slip things. So they would have the receipt date and the PO number, and then the title and all that kind of stuff. Any notes that, you'd put in on the vendor side, and the number of holds could be on there, and how many copies they got in. And then they would just put those in the books to kind of keep track of, here's the ones that have holds on them, or here are all the ones that, I don't think any of these have the release, like the release date. But the cool thing that I thought with this reports talking to notices and slips is you could make it say whatever you wanted it to say. You could have, my thought is, for us, the two most important things are how many, does it have any holds on it? And is it a pre-release title? You could put that, where's my cursor, at the top in a bolder font, and it'd be easy to see that. My thought was, there would be, I don't know, I haven't clarified this, but something like, you know, a button on the invoice page where you could just tap the button and it would print all of the slips for that particular invoice that you just received. Any thoughts about that? I'm going to stop sharing now. Does that, I mean, I'm thinking bigger libraries might find it more useful, because the two libraries that were using this process, I think one of them was Horizon, or yeah. And the other one was maybe, I don't remember what the other one was. The last one that I showed you is from Waco, and the first one is from Las Vegas, I think. So it would be something that, you know, we could create a report that we could share amongst ourselves with all this information in it, and then create a slip that you could customize based on what your library needs, if that's useful. But I was like, don't want to do all this work if nobody cares about it.
I'm interested, and we don't use acquisition, so it would look different for us.
Oh, okay.
But like, I love this new feature. I'm doing a presentation on it
Oh,
when
are
I
you?
come to see you guys. So but not this specifically, but I'm like listening for ideas about stuff, and I like this one because I think we're writing all that stuff down on a piece of scratch paper and tracking it, and if we could print it from Koha, it'd be awesome. How do you tell that how do you know in Koha that it's a pre-release title? Like,
It will, well, that comes from our vendor. I don't know, like when you order something, do you put a brief record in or not?
oh, we're not even that advanced at this
Not
point.
even.
So like I know that like when the books come, it'll come with the paper that says like comes
Right.
out next week or whatever. So I think we would just have to add that into the record somewhere if we wanted to reference it in a report.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
We
because
bring up,
go ahead.
I say we bring over the street date, pub date, and vendor notes into the bib record, and I'm averse to little slips of paper, and since we're a single library, I don't think we, you know, if we were trying to ship things other places and we're really huge, that might help us, but because we're just us, I try to get everything into the bib record, and we know to look for those things. So I put the pub date in a 598 note, and I put any kind of notes that the selectors need to communicate to cataloging. I put it like in an 025 or an 026. It's tags we don't use. So I just, you know, reappropriate them to something. And then we create we put our basket number, which is our PO number, in the 099 call number field. So if it has a funky looking number in the call number field, we know those things are on order. So we try and push it into the actual bib record so that we're not having to look at little slips of paper. And then we do flag our things for holds. We're not particularly, to us, it doesn't really matter how many holds. So everything that comes through that's received, if it has a hold, we just have these like laminated flags that just go in the title, and then they go to a specific place that's at the front of the cataloging queue. So we're not actually saying this one has 6 or that one has 2 or whatever.
Mhm. Okay. Thanks, Barbara. Anybody else have ideas about, let's see, Marci, if the vendor could provide it in the brief record, that would be helpful. My mic didn't decide not to work. Yay. The release date, that is. Okay. Yeah. And I think ours do come, the brief record does come with the release date if it's out. It will have, you know, like, is it year, month, date in the some field, I forget. And if it's pre-release, and if it has released, it just has the year. So that's the difference there. Okay, well, it's something to think about. If you're interested in exploring this more, let me know. And because I'm gonna play around with it and just see what I can come up with, just because I think it's kind of a fun little project. And Jason, I may be talking to you too.
I'll just say that it's like, it's totally doable as long as you can query the data you need in a report.
Yeah.
The template is the trickier part because that's like getting it to display how you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it seems like a good use for that tool.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I got a quote from Bywater on what it would take, you know, this was back, 2018, I think. And back then they said, where is it? $4,000 to do this. That was 2018. I'm sure it'll be way more expensive now. And if I could do it just for, you know, futzing around with reports and slips, then that, you know, and it would be way more customizable with the notices that we have. So I think that's kind of cool. I want to make sure that the new people that are coming on get some kind of useful information out of this group. So I'm wondering if we can, if there's some process that you'd like to see, and we can maybe just muddle through it. Anything from setting up a budget, setting up funds, actual, you know, I don't know that we can actually do an order, but we could pretend to actually do an order, you know, create a basket, what that looks like. Any of that sound like it would be helpful to folks?
Well, what for the first hurdle that I have right now in setting it up is setting up EDI. So I'm wondering, has anybody ever so helpfully saved the EDI settings for the different vendors someplace?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see, who else is EDI? Marci, I think, has some EDI, but I think you have to get site-specific information.
Yes, you have to have like your username and password, that kind of stuff to be able to connect. But most of it is just what the vendor, like what check boxes are you supposed to check? There's all these various things you have to set up that once you set it up for that vendor, those settings should be the same no matter which customer you are, unless you're doing something wonky.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, we have them for Ingram, Find a Way, and Midwest Tape are the three vendors that we use.
So I have the one for Ingram. We don't use the second one, and Midwest Tape I have to set up.
Okay. Yeah, we've got that, and we could do something
If,
offline.
if there was, and Marcy just said that they use Midwest, Ingram, Brodart, Baker and Taylor, and yeah, Ingram I've got, but I have to set up the rest of those on your list. If there was some way you could share that information to me, okay, I will definitely reach out to you, Marcy. Thank you so much, because it's really difficult working with the vendor because they don't really know what's going on your end, and each of them says, oh, go get that information from your ILS vendor, and the ILS vendor says, no, go get that information from your book jobber. That it's just a lot of work to do a very basic thing. But thank you, Marcy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Marcy says, bad news is each vendor approaches it slightly differently, which is so true. EDI in the States is not standardized, I guess would be the word. It seems like in Daphne, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like in Europe, EDI is much more standardized between vendors. And hang on one second. I've got somebody that's really wanting to get a hold of me.
Yeah, it's probably no help to hear that some of the vendors in Europe are better. But I'm wondering, would Bywater have some of the setups available that they could share with you?
Bywater's line is go talk to your book jobber.
All right.
They install the EDI plugin for you, but that's where their help stops in that regard.
Chanel, there are specific instructions for each vendor. I think something is, I'll have to dig a little bit deeper, but something is on a Bywater site, and also my vendors actually sent me some sheets. I think that they downloaded from the Bywater site. So what kind of questions, if you've already set up one, I guess my question, what kind of issues are you encountering?
Well, okay, so they installed the 4 plugins for us, and they happened to have the instructions for Ingram, so they gave those to us, and I made all those adjustments. But when I went in to look at the others, because their line was, well, they're all pretty much the same, so just use Ingram's and you'll be good. But then when I went into the plugins for the other vendors, some of the settings were different by default. So then that had me wondering what are those settings supposed to be for those vendors? Are they supposed to be different? Because what they gave us by default for Ingram did not match what the instructions they gave us was for Ingram. So I don't know what the source of truth is really at this point. So if I had those settings from someone who actually has this working, I would feel much more confident. But I will search on the web and see if I can find some Bywater setup documents.
I could try to find a link for you too, maybe during this call, but I know some check boxes are library specific. And I can't think offhand unless I go into my EDI settings, but it's like, oh, do you want to include tax, or do you want this? It had to do with invoices and taxes and that type of thing.
And that's fine. I just need to know in order to get EDI connection, the supporting stuff to get the EDI connection to work. The things that are library specific, I can work through by trial and error, but I just don't have a clue for a bunch of these things. In fact, a lot of it, I don't even understand what it means. It's got a ton of acronyms.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions? So the other thing, well, I should probably let people respond to my first question. Are there any other questions that people have about getting going with EDI.
Rhonda, I have a question. This is Victoria in Alpena. We're trying to, well, actually, we have the EDI set up already with Ingram, but I'm having trouble having the processing fee added to the invoices.
Okay.
Do you get your items processed and cataloged, or is it just items only?
We get ours processed, not,
Mhm.
and we get the MARC records from
The
them.
MARC records, okay.
And
And
go ahead.
is it included on your invoice when it comes through EDI?
Mhm.
It is.
Mhm. It is a total for the entire invoice. It's not per item,
Mhm.
but there is a total at the end of the invoice. I can show you. And Marci, you said you have Ingram as well, right?
Yeah, the general population. I think it was Christie.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, okay, Marci says we get our process, and we have catalog processing charges funneled into the shipping field in the invoice for a total cat charge. Okay, yeah. And then Marci, you can shake your head or nod or whatever, but do you then have a separate fund that you use? Okay. That's one thing we haven't done, but is kind of interesting to me to do that. We have our, I'm just, maybe, where's Holly? I think, if I remember correctly, our invoices, I'm just trying to pull one up here and see from, there we go. There, search. I think the way, we were still learning a lot when we set this up. And I think with Midwest Tape, we have the processing per item, but with Ingram, we just have it for the total thing. Oh. Okay, my system is super slow.
While
There.
you're looking, Rhonda, I could comment that I used to set up cataloging and processing as an actual fund in Koha. And like Marci said, it was put in the shipping fund field because we weren't charged for shipping costs rather.
Right.
But this was done by Bywater. I think Kyle and Bywater helped us parse it out that way when each invoice came in, and he worked with the vendor. I think we only did that for 1 year. And then after that, we had decided to keep it not in Koha. So I stopped using the fund in Koha, and they're just invoicing me separately. And I'm taking that out, not out of our collection development account, but another one just so we can track it really closely. It's a lot cleaner that way for us, but it works either way.
Okay. I hadn't heard of that. Yeah, we end up putting it in the shipping field too. The reason I was confused is we did some CSS or something and changed shipping cost to processing cost on the screen. So when you look at it, it says processing costs, and then it's $2 or whatever, $50, whatever. So yeah, you can do little things like that too. And then sort of lost track of the original question. But yeah, we do get our processing charges in the invoice. So if you need, I don't know if you're working with Bywater or whatever, but they could take a look at what we have and
Okay,
and see, you know, they have access to our system, so they could see what's going on.
that's great. Thank you. I'll reach out to them. Thanks.
Okay. All right, we have about 10 minutes left. And I ask this question every time. And so I'm going to ask it again. Is there anything that people want that, you know, we could get a guest speaker in? You know, we could get an educator from Bywater. We could get, you know, maybe somebody here has some experience and on a particular topic. So if there is something, you know, it can be acquisitions tangent, if you will. You know, if we want to learn more about the development process, or if we want to learn more about, you know, somebody from koha-US just talking about what koha-US does as an organization, we could do that too. But also, if there's anything acquisition specific, we could do, you know, if there's a function that you're like, that sounds kind of interesting, but I'm not really sure what that's about. How would that help me? You know, multiple times we've talked about the purchase suggestion function that's in Koha that you can use even if you don't use acquisitions. It's kind of close, it's part of acquisitions, but you don't have to use the ordering and receiving part of acquisitions in order to use the purchase suggestions. You know, different ways that different libraries use that function is kind of fun and interesting to see. But, you know, if you've got anything that you're thinking, ooh, that would be really fun to learn more about, because I think I want to say 3 months ago, maybe 4, we kind of explored one of the new enhancements to our current release. What did I say, 2305? And we were like, oh, that's cool, but nobody could really think of a practical use for it. So maybe having an educator come and talk about that function and kind of give us the backstory, and maybe we could find out how to use it. So start those wheels turning, and you've got 2 weeks to get back to me and let me know what you're thinking. And then that will give me enough time to find somebody to talk to us about whatever it is. And then I will let everybody know in the email that I send out. And I always get these. ERM is sort of tangential to acquisitions because it's about the digital resource management. That's another topic that maybe we could get some clarification on if people are interested in that. I'm just throwing ideas out. And then yeah, just reinforcing the encouraging people to consider coming to the koha-US conference in, let's see, April, May, June, July, August, 4 months. It's only 4 months away now. So nothing could be more exciting than coming to Texas in August. I mean, let's face it, it's a good opportunity to wear your shorts and tank tops because it's going to be warm. But somehow all of us survive, so you will too. And we have a block of tickets to want to say AAA baseball team game. And we've got some other fun things up our sleeves that we'll divulge as we get closer. So those are the kinds of things you can't do online, is all the mixing and connecting and going to lunch with somebody and all that fun stuff. So does anybody else have anything? We've got like 5 minutes. If not, we will wrap it up. But I want to emphasize that the only, this meeting is not the only time we can talk. We have a listserv, or I'm not sure how we ended up eventually setting it up, but we can email each other and ask questions. You can email me directly. I'm fine with that. If you have questions during the month, so we can keep in touch and if you run across something 2 weeks from now, you can email the whole group and see what, has anybody else had this experience or whatever. So be sure to continue talking with each other. All right. I'm going to stop the recording now. Oops.